Good evening, all. Ira Epstein of Linn Associates with your financial market wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for Monday, and we're now at the 10th of May, 2021, and the time about 6:45 in the evening. So, big down day today in the stock market, and everything but the Dow, but that was down too. Big days down on a Monday often lead to an attempt at a reversal on a Tuesday. That's the thing to keep in the back of your mind. What else do we have going? The market's trying to get its handle, and I want to use that word very carefully, its handle, on what this unemployment data on Friday meant. To me, it was very disappointing. I've heard every story from, oh, it's an aberration, to blah, blah, blah. I still believe if you can't pay people to get to work, and the president said this today, he was talking about it. If you get a job offer, and you're getting the government benefits and unemployment benefits and this COVID relief, and you don't take that, well, your benefits are going to be taken away. Who's going to turn that person in? Do you think the employer that's trying to hire him, if he doesn't take the job now, 30 days from now? There's something not logical about this. They're assuming that all these employers are going to do that, and they're not. It's just my opinion of it. I heard it today, and I started laughing at it. When we take a look at, by the way, can you imagine the lawsuit of that employee? Well, you didn't offer me the same job. The employers don't want it. We've all been through it on background checks and all. You got to be so careful. This is a crazy litigious society. And putting the frontline guy there to be sued where the government just says, well, you did what you're supposed to, but you're paying the legal fee. As an employer, it isn't going to happen. You don't have to believe me, but that's how it works. I'm an employer. When you take a look at how this market goes right here, okay, we're fighting battles. You can see the metals backed off. The dollar was down again, not big, but down slightly, sort of stalling in many of the currencies. You'll see that they've hit some important areas. Energy markets, they're all confused with what to do with the Colonial Pipeline. While the pipeline company is saying that they're going to have everything gradually coming back in stages by the weekend, my question is how? Have they found a way to break the hack, or are they going to pay the ransom? What's going on? We're in the dark. When I take a look at the S&P chart, okay, we're down 1% so far for the week. That's nothing. It's a blip in the market. But this is not nothing. The market went up, make a new high, and had a big reversal day down. So you still have the pattern of higher lows, higher highs. That is bullish. The market is over the 18-day average. That is bullish, and this is right where the support area is, unless you take out 41, 40, 50. The pros are probably buying the market right in this area. Where did the market fail? I'm not surprised, the upper Bollinger Band. But here's the caveat that I want to give you. It's one thing when you're buying on pullbacks like this, but when you narrow in these Bollinger Bands and you start a real tight pipeline, as I want to call it, just like you're seeing right here, that can be very nasty. You got to be careful with that, and that's what I see going on right there. Just a warning to everybody, but it's what I am seeing going on. I do think the pros will buy it. I think that they'll have those tight stops. If they get stopped out, they're going to walk away from it. The way that I teach trading, no, that is not what I would tell my traders. Why? I have momentum down, the trend up, the bias up, but I like all three pieces to not be fighting each other. They are right here. Caution. What about the NASDAQ? Well, now you got a higher high, lower low. That's no trend. And you haven't been bullish on this whole bounce rally. You've actually been bearish in this market since back here, this day. From that day, May 3rd, the market established lower highs, lower lows, momentum down. That's all three pieces together. So until you get back over that high, you're putting into play the potential in a very tight Bollinger Band of at least getting to 1370.05. You poke through it, then you started holding it, and you came back up. Well, the trend is what? There is none. You have a higher high, lower low. You're coming into the next support zone. I don't see a trend in this market at all. In the Dow, this has been the strongest, and the market does it have the embedded reading? To have an embedded reading, you need to have 3 days in a row minimum where both numbers are over 80. So you got that on Friday, you got that on Monday, but you don't have it today. Why don't you have it today? Because today's not over. This is Tuesday already. Got to wait. If it embeds, then I say the pros start buying the break. The pros had bought here. You had your breakout. This market was just like the others, caught in this narrow Bollinger Band. The others failed. This market succeeded in breaking out. One of the 4. That's all. Nothing really going on. In the Russell, you were bearish as can be. You got the crazy action on Friday, and the market just said, I don't believe it, and it's going back the other way. Support's down here. You're not trending. Difficult to trade these stock indices right now. The market's probably going to gear itself up for what? For the CPI number that's going to come out on Wednesday. It's going to look if it starts, as traders, can we start making sense of something? Because I'm telling you, while traders, and I watched over the weekend, that's just an aberration. It's not an aberration. You got a reduction in March, you get a bad number in April. People are doing what? You're listening to the president saying today, if an employer offers you a job and you don't take it, and it's the same job you had, the same pay, you're going to lose your benefits. What employer's turning that person in? This is a litigious society. I don't see that happening. In the VIX cash, you have a pattern where you went back up here, but take a look what went on. Here was the action on Friday. Market rallies back up because it's questioning everything else. Are we trending down, but not holding the market to the downtrend? Now, if you take out this number, got to go back to this high of 2060, that's a different sort of game up. Now you're wondering, can you get out of those bands and stay there? If it does it, the next resistance after that is 2166. If you drop back down, we'll see. I think you're just caught in these sideways bands, and they're nasty to try to trade. Look at how this bond market rallied up on Friday to 160.15, and today gets to 157.10. It's $3,000 drop, back down, not trending, staying within that narrowness. You're in the middle of no man's land in most of these markets. The market's trying to figure out what to do. It's not quite the same figure in the 10-year note because you have higher lows, higher highs, got up and over the upper Bollinger Band, thrown back in, but there's support at 132.12, and the market's not pointing down in momentum. It's probably going to get some bids there. And if the traders buy it, I don't think they're going to want to see it under 132.05 and a half. That would break the pattern. So if it has support, I'm giving you the zone that I think it's going to try. Dollar index, I expect short covering. Now, one of the things I told you over the weekend, if you took a look at this market on Friday, here's the 18 and the 100-day average. With today's action, you just had a bearish crossover. You immediately made the lower low, but that's very bearish action. So on rallies, I would look for the bears to be trying to sell into that number. Is there an edge in trying to sell under a Bollinger Band when you're oversold? Zero. None. Nada. June eurocurrency, lower low, higher high, not trending. Upper Bollinger Band, what do? So long, folks. I think all the longs bail there if they're smart. British pound. Well, this is pretty interesting. It not only got over the upper Bollinger Band, it's holding it. It is not trending. I am still looking for it to pull back. I get what happened. I know how the election results went in Scotland, and that's what I think this is running on. But it's not just Scotland. This market's getting up here to pretty strong numbers. It's been acting overall pretty darn good for a long time, and it's leading the way out. Why? Because Boris Johnson just came out today and also said life is back to normal starting this weekend. In the UK, movie theaters, go to your pubs, go to your restaurants. The restrictions are basically coming off now. And that is what this market's looking at. They're the first one to be able to do that out of that area. In Bitcoin, you've had this uptrend. The market's got a wild day down today. So until this high is taken out, the odds favor the market's going to just play around. The trend is up, the bias is up, momentum is up. This is the support zone. If the market clears down here, you'd have to get back to the, what's that exact low going to be? 52,830, that would hurt the trend, but this is just a pattern of higher lows, higher highs into a support zone. The differential between Brent and WTI, I don't know. I would have thought that this would be doing things maybe a little different. I'm not quite certain what I think. I would think that the differential in WTI, because of that refinery, the Colonial Pipeline, I shouldn't say refinery, because of the pipeline being shut the way it is, won't want to get as much oil demand in the U.S. because where are you going to do it with it? You're sending it to the holy East Coast, and I put a map in my morning report to show the people just how important that is. In the Brent, backing off right here, trend up, but you're not getting over that Bollinger Band. So Ira, the subscription price of your paid videos, when you tell me in the morning, watch out for those, they're making sense. Yes, I agree. In WTI, same thing up here. Overbought? No, you know, I don't buy into the news. The news doesn't make you money. By the time everybody hears the news, it's already discounted, right? Got to trade chart patterns. It's things you don't know that the market's putting in there. Rebob gasoline got up, and you know, on the East Coast there's panic. I almost heard today the announcers going, "Go fill your car up." They're scared to say that, but that's what they're doing. They're saying, "I wonder which car of mine I should get filled up right now." Code words: go fill up your car. You might have lines there and prices going higher. So running it, yeah. But you've lost that embedded reading, and until both numbers are under 70, I'm sorry. Let other people buy it. That's not what I teach. So you put it together, you got a pretty interesting game going here, and one of the ways I keep it getting better for you, I think, is with the little tricks that I teach you in the market, such as how do you trade off of Bollinger Bands when they hit those numbers, you have your embedded reading. Here's how you do it. Welcome. I'm Ira Epstein, and I'm here to talk about my enhanced Bollinger Band course. Now, many of you have taken my regular charting course, and if not, you might think you know something about Bollinger Bands. As you know, Bollinger Bands are an algorithm designed to keep the market trading within it 95% of the time, and on a chart, it will offer on the top part resistance, on the bottom support, and the idea is the market will travel within them. We know that sometimes it latches onto that band, goes up or goes down. Well, how do you play with that? Can you pyramid the positions off that type of thinking? Well, I've applied all three of these into 13 different videos that teach you my concept of it. And from that concept, you're able to work with weekly charts and or daily charts. The 13 videos, each about 7 minutes long. The idea here is not to put you in school forever, but to teach. Now, if you haven't tried my complete futures research, I throw that in as well. Whether you've tried this or not, I think it's worth taking a look at. I think you're going to learn something from there. That research, by the way, covers twice daily market updates for you and access to what I call window envelope numbers, which I think are very important when looking at these Bollinger Bands. The next part is a trial to our charting software so you can make your charts look the same way that mine do. It's that simple. Where do you go with it and how do you get all this? It's simple. You go to our website, www.iraepstein.com. If you go to the word education, everything you need is answered there. You can also call my staff. They'll be happy to help you get set up. I'm Ira Epstein, on the road to your education.